Hey, you guys, and welcome to the Steele Wars Hyperchat live on YouTube, Facebook Live, or whatever the Facebook video thing is, and on Periscope, on Twitter, and also as a Patreon exclusive podcast for our $3 and up patrons. How are you guys going? First up, listen, Apple. These little C USB things used for chargers, they're terrible. Can't get a charge on my bloody computer right now. You're killing me. Too sensitive. They do not work. What's going on? What's going on? Let's go to a happy place. And that is the reaction to the tragedy episode of Chapter 14. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things. I should get that at the top. George Lucas talking about why he sold Lucasfilm. Temuera Morrison talks about returning as a Fett, this time Boba. And Knights of the Old Republic 2 is hitting mobile devices. And we've got a little trailer that we'll check out. Plus, just a bunch of little tidbits around the place. What did you rate The Mandalorian Chapter 14, the tragedy, and why? 1 point. This one's I put this only one up last night. Normally I put them up on Friday and it gets a way better hit rate. But just under 500 votes for this one thus far. 1.7%. Let's round up to 2% saying thumbs down, 5% saying thumbs in the middle. So, pretty good thus far that only 7% had a in the middle or down experience. 25% said thumbs up and 68% said thumbs way up. I thought it was a banger. And one thing I appreciate of many about The Mandalorian is that with all these different directors coming in, we're getting all these like distinct styles of episode. It's not just all one thing. Like people sort of, say, oh, can't it go back to its whatever it was or it's meant to be? Well, it's this patchwork of all these different styles of adventures, and I like it. So there is that coming up this week. Very exciting. Disney Investor Day. The Walt Disney Company will webcast its Investor Day on December 10th. The event, focused on the company's direct-to-consumer streaming services, is scheduled to begin at approximately 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 1:30%, sorry. The Investor Day is expected to last approximately 4 hours. Woo! Damn. Oh, hope they open big. But this will still be going while we do this. So it maybe we'll push it back, or hopefully there'll be Star Wars stuff already mentioned. But Corey and I are going to be having a blockbuster Corey Thursdays this Thursday with announcements. Disney Investor Day reaction. And all the details for that are already on the YouTube page. So like the stream's already there, so you can hit a bell, and it will remind you when it's going to start, all that good stuff. So let's check the okay. I haven't checked the comment feed for the whole thing, and there's all these idiots, goofballs. Where is Steele? Smee Zed. Arrow Chick. Who is that guy with Steele's voice? Listen, if you are just listening, I shaved this morning. All right. So Elijah Neal, Steele de-aged 11 years. Thank you. Elijah. Love it. Love it. Sean Hoffman wants to know if the 4 hours includes an intermission. I hope not, because I just want to go straight through. I just want to get to the Star Wars stuff. Kermit the Pog says, if there was a thumbs way up, I would have voted for that. 2 thumbs up. That's a lot of thumbs, buddy. Come on, save some thumbs for the finale. Lachlan Freeman says, new movie announcement at Investor Day. I don't reckon we're going to get a bare mention of a movie, my friend. It will be Disney Plus. Thank you, Michael. Looking sharp. Leidra says, gosh, lol, his smile is so much more noticeable after shaving. So are my smug looks. Drew H says, Star Wars better be the first thing they announce. Love it. Drew's throwing down the gauntlet. I hope Bobby's watching. Drew has spoken. Let's talk about some stuff. More information is coming out from Paul Duncan's Star Wars. Is it Chronicles? Archives. I've got the Chronicles. The Archives is the newer one. For the prequels from the very prestigious and high quality Tashkin Book Company. And he's posted up an unboxing video. Maybe we'll check that out in a sec. Do we want to watch the unboxing video? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. But anyway, there's this new interview he did with George Lucas that Mouth Breaker says this is better than a super chat. He says, gonna need that Black Flag New Hope shirt, Steele. And yeah, let's I'll show it to everyone. But it's the Black Flag. Yeah, you either know it or you don't. So, but I was very happy when I came up with that one. Mouth breather. Silent Kid says prequel news. Is this 1990? No, it is not. It is certainly not. I'm not sure if you've gone outside in the last 6 months. It's not 1999. So anyway, let's hit some George Lucas quotes about him selling Lucasfilm. George Lucas at that time. This is George Lucas. At that time, I was starting the next trilogy. I talked. Oh, anyway, did I really say it's the prequels? It covers everything about it. They're amazing. They're a couple $100, give or take. But if I had the means, I would partake. So George says, at that time, I was starting the next trilogy. This is in 2012. At that time, I was starting the next trilogy. I talked to the actors and I was starting to gear up. I was also about to have a daughter with my wife. It takes 10 years to make a trilogy. Episodes 1 to 3 took from 1995 to 2005. So you'd finish in 2022. I'd still be working on episode 9. In 2012, I was 69. So the question was, am I going to keep doing this for the rest of my life? Do I want to go through this again? Finally, I decided I'd rather raise my daughter and enjoy life for a while. I could not have sold Lucasfilm and gotten somebody to run the productions. I could have not sold Lucasfilm and gotten somebody to run the productions, but that isn't retiring. On The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I tried to stay out of the way, but I couldn't. I was there every day. Even though the people were friends of mine and they did great work, it wasn't the same as me doing it. It was like being once removed. This is the thing about George. Love him for it. But this is the thing about George. I knew that probably wouldn't work again, that I'd be frustrated. I'm one of those micromanager guys, and I can't help it. So I figured I would forego that, enjoy what I had, and I was looking forward to raising my daughter. Also, I wanted to build a museum, which I'd always wanted to do. So I was thinking, if I don't do this now, I'll never get that done. I've spent my life creating Star Wars, 40 years, and giving it up was very, very painful. But it was the right thing to do. I thought I was going to have a little bit more say about the next 3 because I'd already started them, but they decided they wanted to do something else. Things don't always work out the way you want it. Life is like that. God, I want a George Lucas podcast. Just musings from George. Really sweet. Really, really sweet. Just knew his limitations as far as trying to separate himself from it, and realized let's sail off into the sunset. So good for George. Has anyone deserved it more? So much. So many. And that is that. Drew H says, I ordered mine, but it hasn't come in yet. There's Michael. Sam Witwer should totally voice Henry Rollins in an animated series about 80s punk. Henry Rollins, at the start of COVID, rode past our house. So there you go. Yeah, just rode past with his friend, and that was that. Henry Rollins. Pretty good stuff. Singer from Black Flag. New York Times, being Boba Fett, Temuera Morrison discusses The Mandalorian. Morrison, a veteran of the Star Wars film franchise, talks about his role as the fearsome bounty hunter on the Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian. So this is pretty sick. Let's get Temuera's badass self. Look at him. Fierce. Let's go down here. It covers all the, the history that you know. He played Jango Fett. He was in Aquaman, Once Were Warriors. How long have you been awaiting your opportunity to return to the Star Wars series? There was a lot of stuff online about a possible Star Wars bounty hunter film, and then I was watching all the new Star Wars movies coming out, wondering if they were ever going to do anything with Jango Fett. My agent and I had a number of discussions. When were they going to call me? But then I kept forgetting about it. In this day and age, they have a number of options, and they could have called other people to play the part. They could go with a fresh face. They could have called The Rock. Imagine The Rock as Boba Fett I want someone to do the deep fake thingy with that episode with The Rock's head in it. A few catchphrases. Mouth Breather says, Tem really stole the show, oozed charisma. Didn't he? Yes. Jordan Rennie says he's just a simple man. Chris Willis says, what happened to the beard, Steele? You got to rewind. We've covered it. And also, I didn't class it as a beard. It was a laziness measurement because I don't want a beard. So to me, it was just a length of time that I hadn't been bothered to shave. So Silent Kid says The Rock would have never fit in that armor. Damn it. This mouse isn't working. Apple is just lost their way. They have lost their way. So anyway, I'll page up with this. What happened when you finally got the call from the series creator Jon Favreau and executive producer Dave Filoni wanted to meet with you? I wasn't even quite sure what The Mandalorian was about, but I kind of knew that Jango and Boba had their own Mandalorian history. At the time, I was in Los Angeles meeting on another film, so I was pleasantly surprised to get the call. I actually got the meeting quite early. I was so excited. I got there about 2 hours early, and there were conceptual drawings on the wall. I saw an image that looked like me, and I said, I'm sure that's me. But even then, I didn't want to get too excited. Mate, it's you! Get excited. I want to know. I don't know if it's going to answer this in this interview or not. I don't think it will. Was it his feet? Was he there on the set of Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, starring Jake Carnival as Toro Calican? Got a little bit of Toro merch coming up, everyone. So don't worry about that. What did you discuss with them in that meeting? I was just listening. I wasn't discussing anything. I'm just nodding, going, yes, yes. Obviously, they had their ideas about what they wanted to do, and they must have told me that they wanted me to play that role again. But I was so nervous that some of it was just going straight over my head. I was just going, wow, this is great. It wasn't until I got back into the car after the meeting that I went, is this actually going to happen? But as you saw, it happened all right. When we find Boba, he's well worn and he's been through a lot. He's a survivor and he's weathered. Now it's time to find out more about what makes Boba tick. Is he more than just a simple man trying to make his way through the galaxy? Is he tired of all the fighting? Is he tired of all the killing? Interesting. The one thing I can relate to is I'm quite a mature man now and things always change. Sometimes you're in Hollywood in all the magazines and newspapers, and sometimes you end up in the fish and chip shop in New Zealand. Nice. Where all the old magazines and papers go, your old news. And this is really cool. How did you want to incorporate your cultural background into the role? I came from the Maori nation of New Zealand, the indigenous people, where the down under Polynesians, and I wanted to bring that kind of spirit and energy, which we call Wera. Sorry, no disrespect, but as we all know, I do have a speech impediment. I've been trained in my cultural dance, which we call the haka. I've also been trained in some of our weapons. So that's how I was able to manipulate some of the weapons in my fight scenes and work with the gaffy stick, which my character has. Great stuff. So that is New York Times interview with the great man, Temuera Morrison. Now, video games. I never got into these role-playing games. But I might download this and check it out. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords will be reborn on mobile. And this is coming out on iPad, iPhone, and Android. And they got a little trailer up. How long does this bad boy go for? 45 seconds. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. Just got to make sure I do my screen sharing correctly. Bang.
I have waited years to see the last of the Jedi fall before me.
Angry.
The Sith are here at last. You have brought them to this place as I had foreseen.
The end of the Jedi is at hand.
Well, there you go. Didn't really... I don't know. That didn't really fire me up. But I don't know. Did people play that? Get in? That was exciting. I don't know. I sort of thought I'd be like, oh, I want to play that, but That was very subdued. Kermit the Pog says, OG voice actor better, in my opinion, but I like the continuity. Oh, you mean in Empire, how they edited it? They changed the voice. Yeah, I like, so in Empire Strikes Back, they changed Boba Fett's voice, which I think Kermit the Pog is talking about. And thank you for the super chat, Kermit. I think, no, I don't think they changed the voice from whoever did the original Boba Fett voice to who I can't remember, and they changed it to Tim Morrison's voice. All right, Chris Willis says that was kind of flat. Agrees with me. But Elijah Neal says, yeah, both Knights of the Old Republic games are spectacular. Ian Hart says Knights of the Old Republic 1 was so much better. Jordan Rennie. Thanks, buddy. Oh, wow. Thank you. A very generous super chat. Just a bit of support for the channel. Cheers. I should actually point out, as I've talked about before, just been getting into, in the last few months, this constant YouTube thing. Still do, stuff on the podcast, and a lot of this stuff ends up on the podcast or on the Patreon podcast. But been putting a lot of energy into doing this every day. And I had a few things that I wanted to hit, little landmarks on the journey. And one of them, which is very humble, was to get 1,000 watches before the next day's episode. Very humble. You got to start somewhere. And we did that today, so that's very good. And the round table on Saturday night is over 4,000. Again, very humble, but I appreciate the 4,000 watches. And everyone that sort of chats on here and watches every day helps that, because you every day are algorithming, helping it out. So then it shows up in more people's sidebar. That's apparently how it works. That's what I've been told. So cheers, everyone. Lachlan F says, damn nice. Chris Willis says, milestones. Milestones, thank you. Then, Kermit the Pog is impressed with Jordan Rennie's generous super chat. This mouse is going to get thrown out the door. Oh my God, this mouse. Killing me. All right, we're sort of running late, so I'll wrap up there. We'll keep it tight, and then all the little tidbits that I've got, I'll do them tomorrow, along with any other news that comes up. And Thursday, Corey Thursdays, Disney Investor Day reaction. Am I connected again? So Leidra gets it. She says, I like algorithming. Lol. So do the algorithm thing. And I'll catch you tomorrow, Wednesday. And we'll have a bowl. Thanks so much, you guys. And sadly, even though it's quite short, this episode's gone on
long enough.
So may that force be with you.